So like Ben said, I'm Sarah Bates. I'm in the Office of Legislative and Public Affairs for NSF. So my job is essentially to communicate the outcomes of NSF-funded research to the world, which is an easy job and a delightful job. So I look for great stories. I work with Kelly. Kelly works in IIP. Do you want to talk about yourself, Kelly?
Sure, I'll talk about myself. So I'm Kelly Monterroso. I work for IIP, as Ben said, and I cover a lot of things: websites, content, marketing, branding, social media, and work with all of you to promote your companies and your stories.
So we're here today to tell you more about what we do and how we can help you communicate about your good stories to the world, and to give you some tips, and then mostly to implore you to tell us when you have a good story, because sooner or later you will have a success story and you're going to find a way to tell it, and NSF can help you amplify that message.
Okay, so pop quiz. Guess this company based on the Phase 1 project title. Can anybody do it?
So this is the abstract title, and this was written for a technical audience. Can anyone guess it? What's that? Does someone say REI? It's not REI. So
There's chocolate if you get it.
picture a kiosk that eats your phone and then gives you money. Oh, did someone say Eco ATM? Who said it? Who said
Ooh.
it? Nancy has chocolate for you.
She's coming.
Nancy's
She's
coming
over here,
for you.
over here.
She's over there.
She really does have chocolate.
We have more questions for you.
Nancy always has chocolate.
So
be
be ready with your answers.
Yes.
It is just plain chocolate, no nuts for you
So-
with nut allergies.
Yeah, we took those out.
Yeah.
So it is Eco ATM. So we wrote a press release about this company, and they really refined their message. And a good story has great payoff. So literally, it's sold for $350 million, and it helps the earth as well.
It recycles smartphones and cell phones.
Yeah. So good communications can have a really big payoff. It's the takeaway here. So 3 things to remember today. The puppies. No. So you are the best person to tell your story. Refine it. The future of your business really depends on getting that story down. You never know if there's going to be an investor near you, if someone from the media is around, or where that your next funding might come from. So get your story down, and NSF can help.
Picture it as a 3-headed puppy monster.
Very cute.
And this is us imploring you to tell us and tell your program officer when you have a good story to tell. And this could be a creepy GIF, much like this, or just a strange still image, and we'll go through all the ways in which we can fit a story to our different channels, depending on what that story is. But it all starts with you telling us what it is, because if you don't, then we'll never know. Another quiz. So one way you start by communicating effectively is by knowing your audience. So I think probably it's safe to say most of you talk to people who speak the language of business, or they speak the language of technology or science or engineering. We are also guilty of that, but one thing we have to keep in mind when communicating to the public or communicating to the press is that people don't know what you know. Oftentimes they know very little of what you know. And this is not to say they are stupid. This means they're just ignorant in certain ways. I know very little about many things, but one way in which we know what people know is by asking them. So the National Center for Science and Engineering Statistics, which is part of NSF, every 2 years does a large survey of the public and asks them simple science and engineering questions to gauge what the public's understanding of science and engineering is. So one question is, does the Earth go around the sun, or does the sun go around the Earth? Who knows the right answer? Seriously, I need to know. Okay, some of you know. Okay. Can someone tell me, please? Thank you. And what percentage of the public do you think knows the correct answer? More than 50?
If you can guess the exact percentage, we'll give you chocolate.
Someone said 11, which is amazing. Actually, it's better than that. Okay, who here thinks it's more than 70? Okay, who thinks it's less than 75? Okay, I don't know how we're gonna give one chocolate.
I don't
We
either.
really didn't plan this part. All right. I have to rethink that one. It's 73%, so I gave that story away. So not as many as you would hope, right? You would hope it would be 100%. So it could be that maybe someone misunderstood the question, but this is just saying that, there's a lot of basic facts that you might take for granted that people don't know. Here's another one. Oh. Another pop quiz. Lasers. So, true or false? I'm going to make sure I get this right. Lasers work by focusing sound waves. Who here says true? Oh, you guys are so smart. Okay, here says false. Okay, what percentage of the American public do you think got this correct? 20? 19? All right, last time we got 73. This time we only have 45. So this is a bit of a more difficult question if you're not familiar with lasers. So again, this is saying that, people just don't know as much about lasers as you do, okay? So when you say laser, people don't even know what that is, possibly. I'm not gonna say you have to define laser every time. I'm just saying, just go into it knowing that you might have to use much more simple language than you had planned. I don't know a lot about hamsters, so that's something I ask people a lot of dumb questions about. If you don't tell your story, someone else is going to, if it's a cool story, because people cannot resist them. And they may not tell it in a way that you want them to tell it. They could get it wrong. They could say that the sun goes around the earth, or that lasers are acoustical waves. So, and they turn it into a monster. This is a photo of Kelly at Halloween last year.
I wish.
So to avoid that, be proactive, practice your pitches, practice your elevator pitches, get your program officer on board, let us know. We're, relatively sophisticated with this sort of thing. And the good news is that there is a landscape out there that's really hungry for stories. So Popular Science continues to, this is Ecovative, one of Ben's successful companies. This was Stony Creek
Colors.
Stony Creek Color, which has a new way to find indigo. This is Vocal ID, thank you, another eco. TechCrunch is another outlet that regularly features NSF-funded SBIR stories. Blue River for only $305 million instead of $350 million. And The Economist often features SBIR companies. So these are all media outlets that are looking for good stories, especially innovation-based stories. So these are all outlets that NSF also has relationships with, so we can help you with some reporter pitches. And you may not be familiar with NSF. If you are not, go to our toolkit page, nsf.gov/toolkit, and we'll show that at the end too. If you just need to know more NSF by the numbers. NSF is extremely well respected in terms of the science and engineering community, and Kelly will talk in a minute about how you can use that to your advantage. But just to give you an idea of what the scope of our investment is, we give out more than 11,000 awards a year, almost 368,000 people that NSF supports. So you're among good company. And part of what we try to tell people is that basic research and innovation help fuel the US economy, we contribute to national security, we advance US competitiveness internationally, and these are all messages that we continually try to get out, and SBIR companies are one of the clearest points that people understand, especially people in Congress, and we want people in Congress to understand so that they will continue to let us support NSF-funded companies.
So there's several different channels that NSF uses to get the word out. Obviously our website, we post press releases there and videos and content constantly. We have the Seed Fund site, which is the site that I run, basically. We have social media, and we have a news service. So we have a lot of social media channels. We won't go through all of them because it could take up
But we'll go through some of them.
an hour, but we will go through some of them.
And encourage you to follow them.
Yes.
/threaten you.
So this is one, it's Alteros Energies, another one that Ben funded a few years back. So we wrote a press release about them. And they sent us this beautiful photo. Your photos don't have to be this beautiful. But it got picked up, and people loved it. So always a good thing to think about. Not every story is a press release, but if you do have something that you want to share, reach out and let us know. Then, like I mentioned, the Seed Fund site, we have a whole showcase page where we just want to feature our companies. So please send us content. We'll put it on there. Always looking to keep it fresh and updated. And then we have Twitter. The SBIR feed has about 10,000 followers. I'm going to check to see how many more we have after this session. NSF has about 1 million. So if you do have content, I'm happy to post anything on Twitter, and NSF often will retweet or post. Well, I'll send it to them and say, this was really better for you all to post too. So follow us at NSF and NSF SBIR, and we will refollow you and retweet, and it's free. So this, going back to Monterroso, this also, we tweeted it, and it got one of the Great Gov tweets, so a lot of engagement. Another thing we do, and this was just this week, we posted a video in Spanish. This is the first time ever that NSF has posted something in Spanish. This is one of our phase 2 companies, Protein Dynamic Solutions, and they were located in Puerto Rico. And she had a really great message for anyone who wanted to be an entrepreneur and the way to do it. So if you got something, send it. We might use it there.
And this is an example of the power of timing and good images. So this is Mental Canvas, one of Peter's companies out of MIT, and they developed a software that turns 2D images into 3D. So they had a really cool demo video where you could, see buildings rotating and rockets flying, and they told us a few weeks ahead of time that they were going to put out and they were going to put this online, and would we like to get on board with announcing it? And we sure would. So we did a video and worked with Popular Science, and it got picked up there, and they're I think they're doing pretty well, right, Peter? Yeah. So if you do have some sort of still image that you think is engaging or representative of what your technology is and does, please give us a heads up on that. Here's another example. So this is FlexTex. This is a mechanical arm that's not robotic, but it's based on basic research in biomechanics. So this PI actually had an NSF Career Award. So this is an early career award that we give to researchers. And he did about 10 years of basic research before even getting an SBIR award. And this new arm is based on that basic research. So this was a really uniquely NSF story where it was NSF lineage from start to finish. And now I think he's at the University of Michigan, and it's on the market. So he let us know that he was going to put this arm for sale.
And this is a really wacky video that we're like, what are we going to do with this?
Well, we couldn't show human surgery, which would be tacky. So so they did a video of cherry surgery, and we can watch that briefly. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah, he's pushing it.
Cherry surgery. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
We're building suspense right now. So NSF produced this video using footage captured by the University of Michigan. So we worked with both the university and the company to put this video together. And we will work with you on timing of announcements and ask you to review materials before we put them out as well. And we put this on Facebook in addition to YouTube, so you can see it had quite a lot of people reached and got a lot of good comments. And a lot of those comments are, how can I learn more about this? And so it was a way to build new partnerships and business opportunities for this company. And YouTube, we have at least 2 YouTube channels, and we don't just throw things up on YouTube, we really use YouTube as another outreach platform and also as a way to post things on other social media platforms. So please, if you haven't already checked out our YouTube page, especially our IIP YouTube channel, there's a lot of good material on there and resources for Phase 1 grantees. There we go. Trade shows.
Trade shows. So another way we support companies at times is sometimes we'll bring companies to a trade show. This one is CES, which we've sponsored a big floor presence for the last 5 or 6 years, I believe.
100 years.
Yeah. So we don't always bring companies to trade shows. We do have a supplement for phase 2 to have you choose the right trade show for you, what's right for your, what audience it is, and what's right for your technology. But it is another way to refine your story and talk to people and really get feedback in real time. See if this works.
You want to watch it?
Yeah.
I think he's going to click on it. I think he's got to do it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to work. Oh, it's working.
There it is.
No, it's not. It's not working. Maybe we should move on.
We'll move on. Oop, that's bad.
That was a great video.
That was great. It's exciting.
Go to our YouTube channel.
Go to our
and
YouTube
watch
channel. You can see it.
CES.
You can see other CES videos as well. And they're pretty great, actually.
This is all to drive you to our channels, actually.
So this is Shark Wheel. It's a company that is still a phase 1, and they were here last cycle, and they sent us some images of their new technology, reinventing the wheel, and we posted it for Shark Week, and it got a lot of likes and engagement. This is our Tumblr.
So, construction robotics. So, many of our companies dabble in robotics. This is one of Ben's companies. And this is a company that has developed robotic friends to help people build houses. And this is not to replace humans, but to help them. However, lots of people are nervous about robots taking people's jobs, and that's because robotics is changing a lot of industries. We all know this. Whoa. NSF really approves. But construction robotics has been excellent at communicating how their robots are working with masons and how the construction industry is changing because of robotic assistance. And really focusing on the assistance aspect and being very transparent in what they're doing. So we worked with them on a house that they were building using their robots, and put it up on our YouTube channel, and it had 500,000 views. And let's watch it now, and then I'll talk more about it. And his name is Sam.
So our system is called SAM, for Semi-Automated Mason, and it's been developed by our company, Construction Robotics. The SAM system is working alongside masons, helping them install brick. It can handle a wide variety of bricks that are used out there in construction, primarily for veneer commercial construction, most of your institutions, your schools. It's really designed to help your commercial masonry contractors increase their productivity and help reduce some of the heavy lifting from the mason. The mason still works alongside SAMs. They're still responsible for setting SAM up. They're still responsible for striking the joints and ensuring the best wall quality and using some of the knowledge and the skills that they have, but they don't have to have the physical demand on their body that they might previously. That can help even some of the older masons work alongside SAM and not have to lift and place every brick. And we're successful here, and we can bring robotics and automation in the industry. If we can help construction as a whole be more successful, that's really going to ultimately help the U.S. economy and even help jobs in the U.S. We can help provide a very interesting, dynamic aspect of the construction process where you're using robotics and construction at the same time, and you can really help attract young talent into the industry. NSF's been an instrumental part of our work. It's really been what enabled us to go after and develop a high-risk technology like this. Bringing robotics and automation into the construction industry is a challenge on multiple fronts, one from both the technology side but also on the business and implementation side. And I think the ability for NSF to come in and support that has been really what enabled us to be able to pursue this technology and enter this industry.
So this is an example of a PI handling a sensitive topic really proactively and transparently and with a lot of nuance, which is good. So this did get picked up by a newspaper in Great Britain, I believe, everywhere, which is partly why we have 500,000 views. And we have a lot of people commenting on the video about their concerns regarding job loss in robotics. And this is an opportunity for that company to address some of those concerns. And you can watch any number of these other videos. None of them are ours. But this is a way to engage with your audience in new ways and to find partners in places that you might not expect. So this is to say that if you do have a topic that is sensitive or you're nervous about communicating it effectively, this is another way in which we can help you. Can we go to the next slide?
We've lost control.
We're never gonna get, this is the robots. They've already taken over. Oh, shoot. All right, well, that was Instagram. How many people are on Instagram? More people are on Instagram.
Follow us.
Follow us on Instagram, please, because we only have like 4,000 followers currently. It's not great. And Instagram is a good place where if you have a still image that's especially beautiful or engaging or just incredibly strange, we love strange images too. It can be something like a water droplet, falling down a slide, but it's an example of super hydrophobic surfaces. Then we would love to see those images as well. And now, Kelly is in your email.
Yes, I'm in your email. No, I'm not. So you should have received a template press release when you received your award back in June-ish, really to help you share your story if and when you're ready. So it has pre-approved NSF language in there. There's a quote from our boss, and hopefully you can just plug and play and get your news out there. So hopefully that's helpful. And then we also should have sent you some media interview tips. Working with media can be hard, and hopefully these tips will help you.
Please do not attempt to read this right now.
No, it's not meant to be read.
Go into your email and read it there.
Yes.
Also, please don't send us me notes about it.
So the NSF logo, part of the terms and conditions, you should be putting the NSF logo on your site. It's really easy to find. It's nsf.gov/logo, or just Google it, NSF logo. Make sure you're using the right logo. I've seen some old logos out there, and please don't stretch it.
Don't abuse it.
Make it look crazy.
Don't abuse it. People do this all the time.
They do. It looks really
Please don't
bad.
turn other things into the NSF logo, like cakes or bacteria. I've seen a lot of things. Although you can still send it to us. We
You
do wanna
can.
see that.
We might post it.
Yeah. On our personal
So
feed.
also, if you've got sensitive or embargoed information, if there's quote unquote bad press coming out about you, please let us know. We can help work through that with you. And then, we work with embargoes all the time. So if you have some new release coming, please let us know. We want to plan for it. We've got a lot of you and just 2 of us. So please let us know early, and we can wait and push it out.
And just another note on that, oftentimes basic research can sound silly, and especially if it's presented in a creative way, and people might criticize that or think it's wasteful, or NSF is wasting taxpayer money on something. We deal with these sorts of comments all the time. So if you are targeted in that way by the press or say by a member of Congress, then we can work with you on responding to those concerns. We do that all the time. So if in doubt, just reach out to your program officer.
So when should you reach out? If you got a cool photo or video, please send it.
Not with a Polaroid.
That might work too. Doesn't matter. If you have ideas, if you have a journal article or news coming out, send it up. Or if you're just around NSF, that's our new building, come visit. We'd love to see you. So some of the caveats. We are only human. There are 2 of us. There are a lot of you. And we can't write a story about everything. So just
Nor
keep
would
that
you
in
want us
mind.
to. Yes,
No.
we don't want to do 11,000 press releases a year because no one would read them. And not only would it kill us, but it would kill any interest anyone would have in our stories. So just keep that in mind. Please err on the side of sending us things rather than not, but just know that some things are going to be a tweet and other things will be more of a video push.
And another thing to note is we got a lot of requests to promote a Kickstarter campaign. We can't do that, unfortunately, as a government. We can't tell people to buy something. So just remember that. We can't promote Kickstarter. Sorry. So some of our key takeaways. Put your logo on our site, or our logo on your site. I think I said that last time too.
I know.
Just do it. It's a stamp of approval. The merit review process really shows that your technology has been vetted by experts, so please put it on your site. Follow us. You have Wi-Fi, so... Oh, we were going to quiz them.
Yeah, we're going to give away the chocolate.
Yeah. So follow us right now. Please pull out your phone, follow us. Or, use hashtag NSF funded. We'll find it that way, too. And just, you can always send an email when in doubt. If you forget us, you probably will. You will remember your program officer, program director. Send him or her an email, and it will get to us.
I won't forget us.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Any questions about this robot? Who is not going to take your job? Any questions about social media? Do you guys just want to move on to the next presentation? It's about the Inspector General. Are you still?
This is
are you
much
sure
more
you still wanna
fun.
Do that?
We're the nice ones.
It may sound silly, but it's serious. All right, you guys are in for it then.
Just wait.
All right.